What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So today we're here with, once again, Alycia Cooper. Now, it's probably like a lot of new people that's probably come in since Alicia's been on here, but she's been on here a couple of times before in the past. And we're going to talk to Alycia about a few things. Something she shared with me, a movie that she produced. I definitely want to ask her definitely about that as well. Because yeah, that was interesting. So I need to ask about that, for sure. So Alycia, thank you for joining on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Phil. I always enjoy talking to you.
All right. So Alycia, if anybody know, she's a comedian. She's out there doing well. Let's talk about being a comedian first, okay? Mm-hmm. How is that working out now since you can't go do the stand up and you can't go out? What's the main one y'all go to in Los Angeles?
It was either be the Comedy Store on Sunset or maybe the Laugh Factory on Sunset or the Hollywood Improv. Those were the big three.
Okay, I heard of the Laugh Factory. That's the one I was blank on. Okay, so now how has that been working out for you since, you guys can't do that, can't go to Vegas and do shows or whatever. So how's that been working out?
I lost so many shows that first week. All I could do was lay down. I said, this don't make no daggone sense. Everything done went downhill since the Orange Man was elected. And never Hillary, folks, thank you. So
Alycia, now we're gonna have some difference of opinion. Now, I don't care about Trump either, but there's certain things that the Democrats are doing that I can't stand. We'll go back and forth on that, but I'm not gonna go there yet with you. So let me ask you a question on that then. You talking about shows. How many shows did you lose?
Well, they called me on a Monday, and I was supposed to leave that Wednesday to go to the Tahoe Improv for a week of shows that paid me very well. So 2 days before, I had my flight and everything, hotel. They do the hotel, I had everything all booked and I was getting ready to start packing and got the call that they were shutting down Reno, which I had Reno Tahoe Airport and the whole area. I never could foresee. I said, they're not going to shut down no casinos. It's too much money in that. Sure enough, 2 days before I was supposed to leave, my shows got canceled. Then the week after that, I was supposed to be at Fantasy Springs, out by Palm Springs in California. That got cut out. I just had stuff coming up, just like all comics. We all had stuff on our calendars. We usually book up about at least 6 months in advance. So that's like 6 months worth of shows that's just cut out. And, this is unprecedented. So, yeah, we lost a lot. But let me tell you the funny thing. I have not performed since February. And I thought I was going to miss it more. I'm sitting up here chilling. So I'm supposed to go today because the Laugh Factory is doing this thing where they do live streaming from the Laugh Factory. They call it like, I guess, a quarantine kind of situation. And Craig Robinson is going to be there, but it's no audience. So I got the call from the owner and he told me there's no audience. It's very hard to perform for no audience. We feed off the laughter. They also helps us with our timing. So when you have no audience, no laughter, you just sitting there, you spitting your best stuff. You like, And so I told him I'd come do it because he said they have an audience. I think he said like 1 million people watch his live streams and watch his YouTube channel. And that a lot of people need laughter right now because there's a whole lot of stuff going on that's just not positive in the country. So he asked us if we'd come do it. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. But I have not performed since February. I hope I can remember some of my stuff.
Well, with COVID-19, it shouldn't be very hard to say anything at this point, the way things are happening. But see, that's the thing. And I talked to I interviewed a brother that was a magician the other day, and he was used to doing traveling just like you, doing things, going to Vegas, etc. But what he started to do was to start doing his stuff virtually on his own. And he said, actually, it opened up a whole lot of things because of COVID-19. So the thing is, I want to ask you is this. Have you thought about like possibly, just jumping on and doing your own thing outside of the Laugh Factory, or you really need that crowd to feed off of? Like I said, I'm not a comedian. I don't know, so I'm just asking that question.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit different for a magician, because we really do. It's a back and forth that we do with the audience, and some comics are all crowd work, so they definitely sat down right now. So it's It's not, we don't consider it to be fun when we don't have the audience there. It feels like work. And that's, we do comedy because it doesn't feel like work when it's going well. So other things that I'm doing now that aren't stand-up related is I'm just home writing screenplays, I'm writing movies, I'm writing a lot more. And because now I'm trying to go behind the scenes and be more of a full-time director. And when you're new, you're really only going to be able to direct the things you wrote. I was listening to Gina Prince Bythewood. She did Love and Basketball and a lot of other movies. She said that's how she got in, was writing Love and Basketball. So it starts with a good script and then you can attach yourself. So that's what I'm doing. It's actually giving me a lot of downtime to write my movies because, you got to start with an outline and then you have, that takes a while. Then you have to, do a first draft. You're going to do at least 11 more drafts after that first draft. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I put my time and energy into screenwriting.
Okay. Now, see, like for me personally, when it comes to I can have ideas all day, but I don't like sitting down writing anything. Like I just recently found out about, hey, you can, for instance, when it comes to books, like I had wrote my first book and oh my God, that's so time consuming. Then I just recently found out, the service I'm using, I can, let's say I can write all the ideas I want. I could just talk it like I wrote it and then get somebody just to transcribe it and then, go back behind it, edit that, and then boom, I can put another book out. And I'm like, oh shoot. I said, I can go all day like this. Like I cannot stand, like writing takes too long for me.
Yeah.
I guess you gotta like doing that.
Yeah, you do have to like doing it. You have to like creating characters. You have to like, and it's a lot of solitude. Like one thing about writing, you can't have distractions while you're writing. That's why some people go away. They go to a cabin or they go somewhere else because you really do your best writing in solitude. So if you're somebody who doesn't like solitude, writing isn't going to be the thing for you either.
Yeah, but ever since Alycia, ever since I got this access now, I say, shoot, now I'm about to probably put out some books, some more books on y'all. I did a book with 2018. And I'm trying to work on it right now to get the audio book done to it because I noticed that at least for me, I like listening to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, I like audiobooks better than reading because
that's the thing. So I was thinking that maybe I should just start putting out a bunch of audiobooks.
Yeah.
And then just going from there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, because I have so many ideas. But so the movie you shared with me that you did work on, I checked it out, is in entirety. And I think for me personally, the 30-minute movie for me is good. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good because it gets to me, you get into it, but you also can get to the point. I think that the movies that's an hour and a half. I mean, less like you said, the writing is real good. And the story really draws you into it. Would be the only time I would say, you got some movies that you'll watch and like, dog, I didn't realize I've been sitting here 90 minutes or 2 hours. What I'm saying? It was like you was that much into it. But tell people about the movie that you created.
Okay.
And what inspired that movie itself? I want to know what inspired that movie you wrote.
Okay. So what happens is one good thing about being a stand-up is you really understand how the best thing you can do is not sound like anybody else. You don't want to be on stage and have somebody go, she reminds me of, blah, blah, blah. That sounds like Richard Pryor. That you do not want that as a comedian. You want your own voice. The comics who've made it because they don't sound like anybody else. So because of that, whenever I'm writing a new bit, my goal is to try to write something that sounds fresh. It might not even be fresh, but sounds fresh. And so that translated over into my writing, producing, and directing. So I had to sit down. I was like, okay, think of a movie or a premise that you have not seen before in a movie. And what you saw, Phil, was what I came up with. That topic has never been dealt with before on any level. And the topic is, because I'm trying to say stuff without saying too much, but it's about two brothers who share a cell in prison. And they cross a line. And once the one brother gets out, the other one basically starts stalking him and his family. Now, we all know that stuff happens in prison all the time. We know a lot of prisons refuse to give out condoms, which is the dumbest thing in the world. Give people whatever they think they need. And people don't want to talk about stuff. As African Americans, we have a conservative kind of background. A lot of African Americans are religious, so they don't like to deal with stuff. Even the fact that the choir director is the most flamboyant member in the church, but everybody act like they don't see him. We good at acting like we don't see stuff in the name of conservatism or Christianity or whatever it is. But it's a whole lot going on, and it's better to allow people to be free than to live a lie and possibly drag other people down with them in that lie because they feel like they had to lie. So there's a lot going on in our community. So this was a movie about a bunch of different things that don't get discussed in our community, and a little bit of Fatal Attraction, kind of Brokeback Mountain, kind of Moonlight, different kinds of feels of successful movies that have happened throughout history. But I wanted to touch upon a topic that I don't believe has ever been touched on before.
But now I know some people that'll be here, and I'm gonna tell you, I did view it. It was not done in a way where it's being explicit. It wasn't done in a way where you're like, oh, come on, bro. Like it wasn't done like that.
Right.
Because I didn't know what I was gonna look at.
But I knew.
No, let me finish this. She didn't tell me what the preface was. She just sent me the link. So I wasn't even prepared to what I was going to look at. You get what I'm saying? I was like, okay. So I'm letting you know, even though she tell you the preface of it, it's not done in a way that's, like today's movies that got to be all freaking explicit and show this and show that. I mean, I just want to let people know because, some people on my channel are definitely very, I would say conservative, like most Black folks are. Mm-hmm. So, I was saying I would, let them know that.
Right. And if you get too explicit, they'll slap an X rating on it. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to have any real ratings issues.
I wouldn't have watched it.
Right. And my alpha males like Phil would have been like, oh, heck no. And, so yeah, I had to keep in mind the alpha males that's going to be watching the movie as well. And it was done very tastefully.
Yeah, and like I said, for one brother to a sister, I appreciate that because yes, I know things like that go on. Now, I will say I haven't seen nothing like that done. I will say that storyline, and I was like, wow, I didn't even see Tyler Perry do this one. That's kind of more for his crap, going into these stories, and everything like that. But
that's true. That's true, and I could see Tyler's fan base. Because they like that movie A Fall from Grace on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Remember that one? So I can see his fan base, as long as it's done tastefully, rocking with him. But, certain subject matters people don't even want to delve into for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a problem delving into any subject matter, but it has to be done a certain way.
Right. And even if the story was about Rev, cheating with all the women in church or something, right. and something happened to Rev. I don't know. Even if it's that, I just think we have gotten to a point where we've shown too much, and I think we can imply things. We can lead up to maybe something like that. Right. Just the way, kind of like you shot yours. I mean, everybody get what the deal was. You ain't got to show anything like that, or I don't know. I guess I'm just at a point. I'm over all that. I mean, if you want to go see that kind of movie, well, people go to watch that mess online. You don't have to go watch that because sometimes
if you do too much, it'll feel like porn. Porn. I didn't want it to feel like soft porn because actually the sexual element of it was a tiny element of it. Dude was just crazy.
Yeah, actually, because people hear like, I can't believe you got the wokety woke people and they be like, I can't believe you would even allow her. Listen, it wasn't like that. That's why I'm trying to tell them. Watch when she put it out. Watch it. I'm telling you, it wasn't like what you thinking. It's like actually telling a story that I know that mess happened. Right. I know that mess happened because I've heard of stories from other brothers that got out of jail about things like that happening, or things happening in reverse where they actually get out, but they do things to get back in because they want to be back in with them.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. It's a whole lot of variations to the story. Now, what really happened, Phil, was it was supposed to be a 90-minute feature, but I couldn't get the funding for a 90-minute feature. So I started crowdfunding to do a short in hopes of getting an opportunity to get some backers to make a feature. Because the feature then allows you to give backstory of both main characters, give backstory about why the father-in-law doesn't like the main character. It just takes you back, how he ended up in jail, how both of them ended up in jail, you know, all kinds of stuff. So that's what the feature would afford me the time and opportunity to do that a short wouldn't. But I couldn't raise that much money. And I also wanted a directorial debut to show myself as a director, to get more work as a director.
Well, you know, from what you did put together, it was good because, like I said before, the 15-minute to 30-minute either movie or series is a good thing, you know, for me, because, you know, even the Netflix things, you know, they do a 40 minutes, you know, a lot of times, 8 different shows within a season. So for me personally, I like that. And I think that could be shot more as a series instead of shooting actual movies these days. Or even if you start off doing your own series online or whatever, and then
that's a good idea though, because people are buying series like 30-minute series and turn it into something, because that would be interesting to explore both backgrounds. Because when you watch a lot of stuff, they do the flashbacks to show you how they got to where they are today. So you're right, it could be a series if people are willing to. And I don't see why they wouldn't be willing to do it, because it'd be a series you've never seen before.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, I always told you, we had a discussion. I said, that's like my next phase of something. Like I said, once I get some things established, I say, because I have certain ideas in my head. I'm like, look, I'm not about to write it. So if Alycia, you want to write it, look, we'll try to give you a blessing to write it yourself. But I can give you all the ideas in the world about putting something together, you know, because I like I said, the 30-minute, you know, eight shows, 30 minutes. And I'm a firm believer you can do the crowdfunding if, at least in my mind, if the story is good, if you create like just something that hook them, you know, and then they want to see more than because, well, I have so many things in my head, even about, you could talk about, you know, stories, what happened to, you know, Black men in society. You can talk about what happened to Black women. You can talk about what happens on the job. You can have, you know, anything you can think of, any topic that people talk about, you literally could turn that into something in a series. And I see that. It's like the lane is wide open for that, but I don't want to put too much out there because you know how them folks, they ear hustling all the time, trying to steal ideas. So that's why I'm not trying to say much.
That's true. And I mean, now that everybody's under quarantine, it's a good time because everybody's a captive audience. They said in the first month that Netflix got 16 million new subscribers. Wow. People are at home and they're watching. This is a good time for content. People are at home and they're watching. And as a matter of fact, where people can see the movie you and I are referring to called Trade, is actually on a network called Urbanflix. Urbanflix TV. So if you get the app, the Urbanflix app, you can get a 7-day free trial and actually watch Trade on there. It's under the indie shorts. And you can watch it on your laptop. You can watch it on Roku because Urbanflix is on all those different platforms.
Okay, let me ask you. So it's called Urbanflix dot what?
Urbanflix.tv.
Okay, and that's Black owned?
Yes, and it's a new network, Black owned.
Okay, so it's a streaming service?
It's a streaming service, yep, and it's with Roku. You can see it on if you go to Urbanflix and sign up for the 7-day free trial, you can watch it on your TV, your laptop, or your phone.
Okay, and so they have an iOS app and all of that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. For me, if I do a lot of watching, it's gonna be on my iPad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can see it on your iPad. Yep, 7 days free.
Okay, so you can submit movies there.
Yeah.
And so like, shoot, I'm just asking for myself as well. So is it like Netflix, or they purchase the movie, or they share the royalty?
They can license it for a certain amount of time for a certain amount of money.
Okay. All right. So they don't directly own the content. They just kind of share like a light sharing agreement, basically.
Right. But if you've completed the project, then they can buy it from you and license it from you. Now, if they're gonna put their money in because it's a series and they're financially contributing to this or paying for everything, they're gonna want some ownership.
Right. Well, rightfully so. They put money in. You can't just have Netflix original owner, they ain't put no money in it. And like,
exactly. Yeah. So, but if you have
this man,
you can sell it.
Exactly. So okay. Well, like I said, I've discussed different things with you before, about that, like the writing aspect. Like I said, I even thought about that. I said, listen, writers, and we discussed, privately about what certain things cost or whatever, to get certain things done. But yeah, that would be more so my style. Like, hey, let's do the 15 to 30 minute show. And like I said, putting things online, or even you got to the point where, shoot, you were doing either like a Urbanflix or a Netflix or pay-per-view to do it, whatever how you do it. Because they got even services now you can do pay-per-view. So you say, hey man, look, I just want you to watch it. Just pay $1. You go to a Vimeo and say pay $1, pay $2 just to check it out, and you let me know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That is another way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's many ways that you can, get it out here, because you got to think about it. Today we got so much opportunity. Because let's think about, your film that you have, right? At one point in time, nobody ever saw that.
Right. That's
Unless
true.
some folks put it out.
Right. Yeah. And that is the beauty of today. We can put our own stuff out and reach a mass market without it needing human resources or somebody to clear your content, or, somebody to tell you that you got to make these changes. We can do it our way today.
Yeah, and then that way you may say, hey, okay, I want to imply something, and no, you know how them folks are, because they always want to show black men doing the most. No, you're not showing enough graphic content. We need more bussy shots in here. I'm not showing that. Like, oh, but it'll be good for us to see it. Say, you nasty bastards. You know how them folks are over there.
Absolutely.
And these people here, that's why I say I don't want no dealings with them people. I'm talking about when it comes to Hollywood and all that, they are just evil. And like I say, coronavirus have done a good thing by shutting a lot of them down over there.
Yeah. And coronavirus is going to change stuff forever. We might not ever, who knows what's going to be the future of a comedy club, because you sitting there mouth wide open. I mean, how the audience going to be sitting there with masks on? Them masks hot, so it's just, I don't know how you do it. Everybody being 6 feet apart, don't make no sense. I don't know how you have certain businesses ever return to normal.
Well, if you look at, the a lot of the Chinese and the Koreans and different ones, they was already wearing masks, right? Especially the Chinese. I mean, that was the thing. I remember last time I was at LAX, and I seen about 20 Chinese. They all show up. This is 2 years ago when I was at LAX. 20 Chinese get off of the Air China terminal, and all of them had masks on. This is way back in 2018. And every time you know what I'm talking about. Every time you see Chinese, they had their mask on. Yeah,
they've been doing that since the bird flu and SARS and stuff. And I've been to Japan and Korea to perform for the troops years ago, over 15 years ago, and they was wearing masks over there. So they always knew something we didn't know.
Well, look, I got a mask that I had gotten, I got it, I think, from Etsy or whatever. It's a kente cloth mask. I love my mask. My mask is very comfortable. So I can wear my mask all day. I just think you got to have one that's very comfortable.
Okay, the right kind of mask.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Mine is comfortable. I don't know the way they made it. I don't know, but I don't feel like it's freaking like hot, to breathe in or whatever. Because, these folks, they I went the other day to the, my wife wanted me to go to a store to get something that was closed. But it was at the mall area. But the way this mall is, they have like an outside part. I'm walking in here. None of these folks got no mask on. And I'm looking at it. We having 1,000 new cases of corona a day is happening in Texas. Mm-hmm. And these folks with no mask on, they be looking at me like, he wearing a mask? I look at them like, you ain't wearing one? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these people just want to get coronavirus.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll thin out the herd.
Yeah, that's what I see it in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? I say, listen, some people listen.
Yeah, let the dumb go by the wayside.
At one time, I wouldn't even agree with you saying, oh, I don't know. But now, some people just so, they just so rebellious. They need to go where rebellious people go. I feel that way.
Yeah, let the dummies go by the wayside, because, they be the main ones. Soon as they get sick, snatching a ventilator from an old person.
Yeah, or even not that. It just taking up space or infecting everybody that had nothing to do with it. Infecting, like you say, older person, or especially a lot of black people that we have, pre-existing conditions. You coming around hacking all over the place when that person probably was at their house or doing their thing. They just came out for 5 minutes and now they got it from your silly behind because you refuse, to stop going to the beach because you talking about freedom, You know what I'm saying? Like freedom. And that was out there in Orange County at Laguna Beach from what I saw. Because I've been out there before, the Laguna Beach.
Yeah,
and talking about freedom.
Yeah. But things are gonna be forever changed. You ain't never gonna be able to cough in public again. 7 people gonna slap the hell out you off one cough. Like
people looking at you like you got something.
Yeah, you be like allergies. So no more coughing in public. Things are forever changed.
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question about some of that. You say in Los Angeles some things going to change because I was actually supposed to go out there, and now I'm gonna have to change that in the end of July because I heard y'all gonna be locked down. I'm not going out there if y'all locked down. Forget that. What do you see like? Because like the they get restless. And do you think you're going to have them folks show up with all them guns in LA since they're going to lock it down that long, or you think that's not going to happen now?
I don't think LA is as gun obsessed as other parts of the country. I don't think LA is a gun obsessed place, but they are beach obsessed. So that's where they're going to protest. They're going to go to the beach and not supposed to be out there. But as far as guns, we're pretty all right with that. We don't see people in the subway sandwich shop with a rifle to attack them. We don't see all that kind of craziness, thank goodness. But we have our craziness in other ways. They if they don't get enough sun exposure, all hell about to break loose. So we have it just in different ways.
Right. So you said that you believe certain things would change, like you said, the possibly definitely. I don't see a concert or a comedy show happening in 2020 unless something just changes. I don't see it happening. And I mean, you got to think about people who are like your I don't know why that crazy girl you mentioned coronavirus, Cardi B. Popped in my head saying coronavirus. That girl's stupid.
That video is so funny.
I hope she made her money and all those artists made their money because I know when 2020 started, I know good and well you couldn't have told none of them, hey, at this certain time you ain't doing no more concerts the rest of the year.
Yeah. No, you're right. Concerts and that. I got a email yesterday from the Hollywood Bowl. Every year I would get a bunch of my shows for the Hollywood Bowl, beautiful outdoor venue. They're like, for the first time in their 100-year history, the Hollywood Bowl is shut down. So it's like, and this is the thing, even if certain establishments open up, that don't mean the people coming, because we can still be too freaked out to show up.
Right. I would think that if, I'm just thinking, this is me being the thinking man, I would say outdoor venues probably would be the way to go. With maybe some social distancing. And temperature checks coming in. I would think that would be the first step, at least that I would say, to get back concerts or get back shows. It has to be outdoor venues. Couldn't be like closed in.
Yeah, and like you said with the social, you can't sell every seat. You got to sell every other seat. But they said even on airlines gonna stop selling middle seats.
I heard that. They talking about, I heard that. And then they're having a hard time getting people to want to keep the mask on flight. I said, listen, domestic flight, I can keep a mask on. The only thing that I would have a question about would be international flights, because when you flying 12 hours or more, you know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, then you eat on those international flights as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But see, I'm not a person, Alycia, that's always so freaking hard-headed. And I listen to what's going on. And if it's not something I feel is violating a rule or violating my rights, right? Okay, because look, I'm only gonna be on the plane for so long. I'm not gonna live here.
Right. Absolutely. And it's just, but we can't. We're so spoiled as Americans. We act like any kind of inconvenience is a violation.
I'm gonna correct you. Black people aren't spoiled.
Well,
we don't spoil. To a point we may be. You're right. But for the most part, Black people are forced to follow the rules or suffer the consequences. It's the Mzungus or them folks or whatever you want to call them. They the one don't spoil. They the one don't want to follow rules.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true. But
you see black people at these protests with guns talking about open the state back up. And you see black people, you see DeAndre out there talking about freedom at the beach.
No.
You don't see us out there.
No. Now they do have a different freedom. They can shoot up a whole church and get taken to Burger King. So definitely it's two different justice systems.
Now that's freedom. That's real freedom. That's what I say. Listen, this is the greatest country in the world for them. I'm telling you, listen, no other country in the world, and I'm pretty sure you've been in other countries, operate that way for them. Even European countries, some of them don't even operate the way America operates. I mean, this is like candy land for them. So that's why they say, hey, give me liberty or give me death. I mean, I refuse to give up this paradise.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah, but and you could tell it, and even in religion, what they do in religion, they live in they heaven right here. We taught to wait till death to get our good treatment and just desserts. All our songs about how happy we gonna be once we dead.
Yep.
They songs about how happy they are right now.
Yeah, and then also let me tell you how cold it is. You see, we be talking about a Rev in the black church. But Rev in their churches, like say, listen, Rev, I haven't heard no Rev come out and say with that other Rev, Tony Spell, say, look, y'all need to, we ain't had no donations within a month. The music ministers and evangelists, you need to donate them stimulus checks. They're
like, we want 7%, that's 1,200. We can count.
Like I said, man, look, Alycia, anytime Rev do anything, I don't care, I'm on it. I love talking about Rev. I love it.
Donate that stimulus check.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all tax exempt, so y'all doing better than most.
I wish I was tax exempt. They gotta pay nothing.
Nothing. Y'all tax exempt. Y'all doing better than most.
And do you know that churches was also applying to Paycheck Protection Program?
I didn't know because I didn't figure how would you qualify when you tax exempt.
No, they had certain exemptions. Because they hire employees.
Okay. So I'm still shocked about how as soon as the money went out, they sent it to the millionaires, daggone cheesecake factories and the Ruth Chris's and the LA Lakers.
Yeah, that was wrong. Yeah, the Lakers they got caught up, had to return the money.
I'm like, y'all worth billions. How you beat these little people that need this money?
When you connect it like that, you got access. You know that.
Yeah. But I'm like, then you're gonna return it. You only returned it because you got caught.
Yeah, of course. They ain't returning it because they were good people.
Yeah, that puts a bad taste in folks' mouths. But what you gonna do? They all voting for Trump, and this is what you get.
Well, let's talk about that. You were mentioning Hillary in this country. Let me tell you something, Alycia. Let's go back to Barack Obama, right? Mm-hmm. I voted for Barack Obama. Okay. Mm-hmm. When Barack Obama first ran, I'm like, oh man, a brother is gonna be a good look.
Yeah, I didn't think we was gonna win, but I voted.
Yeah, I was shocked. Well, like I said, I was when he went through the primary. They picked him over Hillary at the time. I was like, oh man, this is good. You seen him with Reverend Wright at the time, and then Mr. Farrakhan backed him up and said, oh, okay, well, man, he getting some cosigns,
Yeah.
And he became president 8 years after that. You know what I'm saying? And you look at, I'm talking about at least for black people. I don't do the people of color thing. I don't do the minority thing because they're not talking about black people. But when we talk about black people at the end of the day, well, I don't know if you're an Obama fan or not, but I was thoroughly disappointed, so much so with Barack Obama. And that's why Barack Obama, if you think about it, don't have the voice he should have being a former president, at least the black community, because we literally watch him do everything for other communities. Right. And to the community that backed him the most, he did not have anything that we could say, okay, yeah, man, Barack Obama did X, Y, and Z, right? So when it comes to Donald Trump, right? Let's go to him. Mm-hmm. Of course, them folks are mad to see him up there for 8 years, of course. So now you have a Donald Trump coming there. But you know what, Alycia, you may not agree with me, but I'm going to tell you what, Donald Trump has been the best president for America, and I'm happy that he's the president. Now, you know why I say that?
Wow.
He's tearing up all these systems. He is destroying their norms. He has no decorum. He talks to them like they crazy. He talks to them like they ain't nothing. Matter of fact, he treated everybody just about the same.
Yeah.
That's what I see. He treats everybody ugly. He don't care. He don't care if you're black, white, Asian. He don't care. He disrespect you. Cross him if you want to. I like people like that. Because you know what? Let me tell you why. All these years, black people would get that same treatment. These other groups, they don't get that treatment like that. Now they're getting it like, oh, he's so bad. You need to vote him out. No. Now you see how I feel.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And I was the thing that pushed me over the edge with Donald Trump was this latest inaction to the COVID-19 situation, because I know people who lost their mama, lost their daddy, lost their brothers and sisters, brother-in-laws, because of his purposeful, slow response to the information that he had been given. And this is what I was saying about the Hillary Clinton comparison. Everybody who doesn't like Hillary can dislike her legitimately for whatever reasons they have, but Hillary would not have allowed a plague to go on while she and her friends dumped their stocks, while simultaneously calling it a hoax and letting all these people die or get gravely ill and in the process. Like, she would have been responsible enough to handle something the moment she was told about it when it comes to the health and well-being. She was trying to get health care pushed through way before Obama. And so I just feel like she would have been a more responsible citizen in a time like this, in a time like COVID-19. People had issues with her for whatever reason, but this man literally sat there and let this thing get out of control. And now they're trying to reel it back, and people are already dead.
Well, this is what I say about that. I mean, many times people have told me that, they have a high IQ and we don't know anything. We're just dumb Negroes. And so I always say, well, it's the high IQ at work here. That's all. Sometimes you have to let people do their thing to show like how smart they are, how not smart they are.
Right. Well, we know he ain't smart. That's another reason why he hates the Obamas, is because both of them got into Harvard and Harvard rejected him. His Harvard rejection letter is on the internet. So he definitely gonna hate them. Anytime black people get to do something he couldn't do because he's Mr. Entitled, he gonna hate you forever. And that's what his real hatred is about the Obamas. Now, my thing is, what I hope with the Obamas, because Barack was a senator from Illinois and his wife grew up on the south side of Chicago, I really wanted to see them make a difference in Chicago by the time their 8 years were up. I wanted to see a cleaned up Chicago, whatever you needed to do to make that happen, because there's a lot of great citizens out there who deserve a great city and who deserve protection and deserve just a normal existence, not gang warfare every weekend. And I'm like, I was hoping that I could see a difference in Chicago pre-Obama and post-Obama, and I didn't see that.
Yeah, because he wasn't focused on that. Then, like I said, my thing was the situation about the police. We were literally, during the time of Obama, we was getting slaughtered out here by the police. So during those 8 years, and he had a whole DOJ. He had, and this is the thing, this is why I get more upset with Obama than anything. And people can throw this back in our faces. When he first got into office, he had a Democrat Congress, a Democrat Senate.
Right.
So he literally could do whatever he wanted to for the most part, for at least the first 2 years. And okay, yeah, healthcare is an issue. I get it. But for me, black people are not living long enough in this country to even worry about healthcare. I think that is an issue. But to me, I'm like, okay, well, why don't you do like what Bernie Sanders said? You already got Medicare. Just do Medicare for all. And why you got to have a separate thing? I don't understand that. Let's put the money in there, Medicare for all, and then just go by your business, right? And everybody have health care. I think health care should be a right, not a privilege. Right. And these people in this country believe that, basically based on money, that's how you should be treated. Now, one thing I do like about coronavirus, because some things about coronavirus have actually been positive, even though it's been negative. You have more than 30 million people unemployed. We know there's only 45 million black people estimated in this country. So we know not all 30 million are black. Right. We know that. We know the majority of them are employed, or probably 9 out of 10, those who are probably of the Caucasian persuasion for the most part. I will say this: they won't pay reparations, but do you see how quick they're willing to throw trillions of dollars out there? When they told us when we wanted reparations that they have to do a study, and they would have to see, and then it would have to be a committee. You guys saw how quick they cut them checks?
Yeah. But this country always been able to do whatever they value. They can do it quick when it's what they value. And Trump is just sending out them checks as he's hoping to get reelected.
Well, you can't. Well, let me go back with you on that. It's both of them, because the Democrats run Congress, okay? Before you even get to Mitch McConnell in that Senate, which is Republican.
Right.
They all listen, when it comes to saving white people, they will save themselves. Okay, like you said, they only, will pay what they value, right? We'll get some residual just because of, we're here, right? They talking about another stimulus package where they want to pay more money out. Now, we say reparations about $17 trillion. I say by the time it's all said and done, they're going to end up paying reparations money.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't even realize they paid it out.
Don't even realize it.
But it'll be less money for them to do what they're doing now if they'd pay reparations. But they will see. They will see. Because one thing, and then look, let me tell you something else, and maybe you could talk about this. All before, and I said this in my podcast, where's all that pull yourself by your bootstraps energy at? Where that's at? All that you getting on the government. You asking, why don't you go work and stop asking the government? Notice these folks ain't saying that no more when it comes to them.
They never said the GI Bill, none of that stuff that they benefited from that they said. That only applies to us. But I went back and watched a documentary just last week that I haven't seen since it came out in 2007. Michael Moore's Sicko. That thing just really is so eye-opening. I said, let me watch this again because I need a refresher course. And what you learn is, first of all, people need to stop using the word free because ain't nothing free. But when you look at other countries who are doing it successfully, like free, well, they call it free, but it's not free. But for lack of a better word, free college and free health insurance. Those countries, the citizens pay higher taxes.
Right.
It would behoove us to research the other countries who are doing it right and replicate what they're doing. None of us would mind paying higher taxes if we got free college and free healthcare that was paid for through our taxes, which means it's not really free. It means we already paid for it on the front end. So it's like there's ways that America can do things that take the stress off its citizens. They don't want to because they want to, capitalism is the only thing that matters to them, and being greedy, because what's the difference in you being worth 3 billion and 6 billion? It's just greed. So there's ways that we can ensure every citizen, make sure you're not crippled by college loan debt. They just don't want to do it. If we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, how are we number 30 in this category and 60 in that category and 99 in that category? Other countries, the citizens are living longer than us. They're living longer than us because they don't have the stress that we have, just trying to survive. And there's other ways to do this. But America doesn't want to adopt it because they want to have this hierarchy of rich versus poor. They want the 1% to have all the wealth. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'll be with you on that. The deal is they don't want it because they want to maintain white supremacy. You understand? Listen, you got to understand. Let's say if everybody had health care, okay, black people will go to the doctor, a little bit more because we got health care. Black people will live longer. Absolutely. Black people do better for themselves, right? Yeah. If everybody went to college for, let's say, quote unquote free, but it's paying higher taxes, right, Black people will literally start closing that wealth gap.
Absolutely.
Okay? Oh, and they don't want that. But I'm telling you what's going on right now. Coronavirus is starting to shrink that wealth gap. And that's what people not paying attention to. The longer these people are unemployed, they can't get jobs, guess what? Now you done turn into the position of the Negro because we couldn't get a job at all, some of us, when you had it good. Now because of the coronavirus, now you're starting to see how it feels to be a Negro and you don't have a job. Say, welcome to our world.
Yeah, welcome to our world. And some of these jobs are never coming back. Right.
I think it was Twitter saying that they are permanently going to do work from home in a lot of their positions.
Yeah.
So working from home is going to be like a new normal. And I was reading also about schools. Schools are saying that They're talking about doing maybe some class instruction and some instruction from home.
Can you imagine graduating high school and you can't walk? You got to sit here on a Zoom camera or some crap. Like, this is absolutely crazy.
Well, my daughter is a senior. She's supposed to graduate, and all this happened her senior year, right? And she was like, oh, okay, we're going to graduate. And now, they said, okay, we're going to do it this day. Or they say, well, we'll have a graduation, but it just be with the seniors and not with the families. Then they're talking about, oh, we'll do it. They don't know what they want to do. So my daughter's like, look, I'm already over it. Just send me my diploma. I'm ready to go to college, And I'm like, that's an experience that they got to miss.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. Any of the kids is out here, this year, and shout out to them. Even the ones graduating college this year, getting their degrees or whatever.
Right. And you almost can't even say go to college no more because now college online.
Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen with sports as well, because, my daughter is running track. And she did get an offer or whatever. So I don't know how that's going to happen with even with track meets. What they're going to do, the track meets virtually. I mean, I don't know, what they're going to do.
Yeah. My niece is a track star at LSU. And I'm like, shoot, they're not getting the workouts in or nothing. We're going to be thick by the time they start running again.
I'm like, you talking about the gyms? Because I know in Texas, the gyms can open actually next Monday. And I called my guy and I was like, hey, Terrence. I said, man, you opening up Monday, brother? He said, I'm gonna give it 2 more weeks to June the 1st. I said, oh, come on, brother. I said, I gotta hit the weights, man. I ain't been hitting the weights like I need to. You know, messing me up.
Right.
But I get it. Corona has messed up everything. Oh man.
Yeah. Can you imagine a porn industry? People got to get blowjobs with a mask on 6 feet away.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. That's funny, bro. I haven't thought about their industry, but I think they're, from what I'm hearing, they're supplementing their income these days with what's that, OnlyFans. They're doing that. So they're making money that way. I think everybody and their mama jumping on that now. I just say was Safari and Erica Middleton jumped on there and they was getting roasted for jumping on there.
Right.
How you married couple jumping on that? Like, what you just doing episodes to talk to people about a reality show maybe, but what are you doing on there?
Yeah, people getting their chatter up however they got to do it.
Coronavirus exposed how, I think Gabrielle Union talked about really how they say a lot of these so-called black celebrities are living paycheck to paycheck. They ain't got it like that. Yeah.
Well, it's also because a lot of people tend to live above their means too. If you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and they got a mansion, so you got to get a mansion, or they got a Bentley, so you got to get a Bentley. If you're making good money and you 2 paychecks away from homelessness, you overspending.
Yeah, then I've been reading about them Instagram girls. They missing some of that Fashion Nova money they used to get, and then now they can't get that Dubai hustle, or they getting flued out for $20,000 so them sheiks could run through them.
No, they running through them too.
Yeah, you know that Dubai hustle.
Yeah. They were making a whole lot of money doing just the least amount of everything, and now now you gonna have to go to Ralph's or Vons or Safeway and get you a job. Because one thing about them grocery stores, they hiring.
They hiring. You may get a side of Corona, but they hiring.
Yeah, there's a few industries that's hiring. It's crazy out there. Everybody in the grocery store.
Yeah, and that's like almost, that's why I go anytime I'm out there with my mask, because I'm like, man, look, some of these grocery stores could be a human petri dish.
Yep.
And I'm trying to stay away from your behind. I put on my mask, and be up in there and just kind of just moving around. If I see somebody even happen.
Do you feel like you've been getting more rest since this coronavirus?
Actually, no. I have been working more, and actually it's been, at least for us, Corona has been beneficial because more people are watching.
Yeah, they home.
They home. We've got new subscribers, new people is coming in. So Corona has actually been a great thing for content creators. You know, podcast, more people listen to our podcast now. So Corona makes me just want to work. So if people saying I'm not gonna go to a show, I'd rather stay home and watch YouTube or whatever. Well, I want to make sure I'm there to produce.
Good point.
Yes.
Good point.
Yes, ma'am. So Miss Alycia, what's next? You got trade on Urbanflix.tv, which I never even heard of that. So I'm downloading the app later after we get off of here. So what's next for you since you did the virtual show? So how you going to proceed?
Well, I have 2 short films I'm going to shoot as soon as whatever this ban is lifted in LA. I'm shooting 2 more shorts. One is a comedy and one is like a supernatural thriller. They're both going to end up being 15 minutes each. So I'm shooting those 2, and then I'm going to put my reel together, which will then have 3 projects on it, and I'm going to use that to try to get work. So, and along with that, because everything is ready for those 2 to be shot, we're just waiting for the ban to be lifted. Along with that, I'm writing more feature films too. I'm writing a feature comedy, and I'm actually and I like what you said though, because I was going to write Trade as a feature, but I think what you said might be more amenable to where we are today, and maybe do Trade the series.
Okay. Well, like I say, hey, if you want to do the series on that, like I said, my mindset is, I have ideas of series, but it's like I look at today and that technology, like I said, Hollywood won't tell certain stories, even that story.
Right.
But there's certain stories that I feel that Hollywood haven't even told, just our experiences in America, certain experiences even in Africa or the Caribbean. The certain experiences just have not even been told yet.
Right.
Or, they've done, shows. I've even seen now on Netflix, they having African shows now, and who's to say you can't go to one of those countries eventually and do a show there. So it's a lot of different opportunities that I see that's definitely out there, shoot. I mean, the stories of why nobody haven't done a story about, Alycia Cooper, I mean, that should be a series. I'm talking about telling the real story. I ain't talking about, telling a story to make them folks feel good about themselves. No, telling the actual story for actually how it happened, right? Like history. There's so many different stories out here that we haven't been told yet at all,
True. There's so many things that we can do, and that's what I think has been the biggest benefit for me. Being set down the way we have been as entertainers really gave us an opportunity to think of some other future stuff that just to think about our future period and where we want to go next, what we want to do next. It's actually been beneficial for me in a weird way to sit down here and really decide, okay, what's your next move going to be outside of stand up? Because who knows, stand up, it might be all online now. You don't know.
Right. And this is a time period you have to remember. The last time they had the recession and different things like that, certain corporations was actually birthed out of that time period. I think they said like Uber and a few other ones. Just ideas that popped up when people literally sat down, they couldn't do anything. So even for me, certain ideas that I'm having, I don't think wouldn't have came if we wouldn't have to sit down in this manner. We were running, and then now you had time to sit down and think.
Yeah. It does give you a chance to get your entrepreneurial side on. So I think it's going to work out for the best. A lot of people are going to be like, I'm successful now because of the coronavirus in 2020.
That's right. Yeah, definitely right. So shoot, and so before we wrap up, Alycia, say anything else you want to leave with people, how they can get in contact with you?
They can get in contact with me on my Facebook fan page, which is just my name, Alycia Cooper, Alycia Cooper. I'm on Instagram at Alycia Cooper 2 and on Twitter at Alycia Cooper. And like I said, today I'm going to go over to the Laugh Factory and do their live stream. Probably do about 10, 15 minutes of stand up with no audience. So this is going to be interesting. So you can catch me there today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, live streaming some stand up with Craig Robinson from Hot Tub Time Machine. And I think, was Craig on The Office? He was on something else huge, and he's done a bunch of big movies. So Craig is going to be there with his keyboard, and we're going to make it do what it do. And yeah, just keep up with me if you can, Alycia Cooper.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow Alycia. And like I said, she's definitely a good sister to have, and on your team. And like I said, Alicia's going the right route with the filmmaking. Like I said, we need more and more filmmakers out there. Tyler Perry can't be the only one, that's for sure. So Alycia, we definitely thank you for joining us today and appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. You have a good rest of your day.